There's a moment no one talks about. It isn't loud or dramatic, it's quiet. It's the moment you realize you haven't texted anyone in weeks, and instead of feeling guilty, you feel relief. Your phone stays silent, no group chats, no plans, no messages asking where you are. And that silence doesn't scare you anymore, it feels peaceful. That's when you understand something important. You didn't lose people, you let go. Not suddenly, not out of anger, not because you hated anyone. It happened slowly, one unanswered message at a time, one cancelled plan you stopped rescheduling, one conversation where you realized you were carrying all the emotional weight again. You didn't wake up cold, you woke up exhausted. You got tired of explaining yourself, tired of being the one who always showed up, tired of caring more than everyone else in the room. People say you changed. They say you're distant now, closed off, hard to reach. What they don't see is that you were already alone long before you left. This is the psychology of people who cut everyone off. You used to be the reliable one, the person people called in the middle of the night, the one who remembered birthdays, the one who listened and didn't rush anyone through their pain. You gave time, energy, effort, even when you had nothing left to give, and then one day, you needed something back. Not everything, just something. You reached out, you admitted you weren't okay, you asked for support, and suddenly everyone was busy. They said they'd call later, they said they weren't good at this kind of thing, they said they were sorry you were going through it. Then they disappeared. That was the moment something inside you shifted. Not because no one showed up, but because you finally saw the pattern. You had always been the one carrying the weight. You just didn't realize how heavy it was until you tried to put it down and no one picked it up. From that point on, every relationship started to feel like a calculation. How much energy does this take? How much do I get back? How often do I reach out first? How often do they disappear when things get difficult? And the numbers never worked in your favor. You were pouring from an empty cup into people whose cups were never empty. They just wanted more. So you stopped pouring. People noticed when you stopped replying quickly, when you stopped initiating conversations, when being busy stopped being an excuse and became a boundary. They noticed the absence, but they never questioned the cost. They wanted the old you back, the version that said yes, that overextended, that survived on crumbs and called it connection. They didn't realize that version of you was slowly disappearing. Your nervous system figured something out before your conscious mind did. It learned that every time you let someone in, every time you trusted, every time you showed up fully, you ended up alone with the pieces. So your brain adapted, not out of bitterness, but out of survival. You started seeing the ending before the story even began. You would meet someone new, feel the beginning of a connection, and somewhere deep inside, a quiet voice would ask how long it would be before this person left too. That wasn't pessimism, it was memory. So you took control of the only thing you could control, the exit. If everyone leaves eventually, you decided you would leave first. Abandonment hurts less when you're the one who initiates it. People call it self-sabotage. You call it self-preservation. There was no big fight, no dramatic goodbye, just a slow fade. Texts answered days later. Plans declined without rescheduling. Social media deleted without explanation. And one day, you were gone. When people run into you now, they say you should catch up sometime. You smile and say maybe. You already know it won't happen. Because the truth is, you were never really connected. You were performing a version of yourself you thought people would keep. And when you stopped performing, there was nothing left holding the relationship together. The loneliest you ever felt wasn't after you cut everyone off. It was before. It was being surrounded by people and still feeling invisible. It was being needed but never truly known. It was being valued for what you gave instead of who you were. Isolation didn't create the loneliness. It just stopped pretending it wasn't already there. This pattern didn't start in adulthood. Somewhere in childhood, you learned that needing people was unsafe. Maybe love came with conditions. Maybe emotions were inconvenient. Maybe you were told to stop being so sensitive. So you adapted. You became independent early, not because you wanted to, but because you had to. You learned to handle things alone, to celebrate quietly, to cry privately. You learned that vulnerability could be ignored or used against you. Those early lessons became your blueprint. Every adult relationship that followed just confirmed them. Eventually, people leave. Eventually, they stop showing up. Eventually, you are on your own, so you stopped pretending otherwise. Now you can spot the signs immediately. The friend who only reaches out when they need something. The person who is present for fun, but disappears when life gets heavy. You feel it the moment you start trying too hard, so you pull back. Not to punish, not to test, just to protect yourself. When they don't notice, when they don't reach out, you get your answer. That's when you leave. People think you gave up on connection, but that's not true. You gave up on one-sided relationships, on conditional acceptance, on performing emotional labor for people who never intended to match it. You stopped accepting crumbs and calling it a feast. You stopped bleeding for people who never noticed you were wounded. Yes, it's quieter now. Birthdays pass without messages. Holidays are smaller. Emergencies are handled alone. And somehow it hurts less than before, because this silence isn't rejection, it's peace. You're not cold, you're clear. You didn't build walls, you built boundaries. And after enough people crossed them, those boundaries started to look solid. Maybe one day you'll meet people who don't make connection feel dangerous. Maybe one day you'll try again. But for now, you're protecting the part of yourself that still remembers what hope felt like. Because the next disappointment might be the one that breaks it completely. Cutting everyone off isn't the absence of love. It's the presence of self-respect. It's choosing quiet over chaos, peace over performance, truth over pretending. You're not running away. You're finally standing still in a place where no one can leave you, because you're the one who stayed. And for the first time in your life, that feels like freedom.